Okay, we're on question 6 of mine. I don't know what question it is on yours. Exterior angle theorem tells us that these two angles are going to add up to this exterior angle right here. Okay? So it's 76 plus 52, and that equals 128. Right here. Okay? Okay. In a isosceles triangle, the base angles are equal to each other. So 5x plus 9 equals 8x minus 30. We're going to subtract 5x from both sides. And then we're going to add 30 to both sides. What times 3 equals 39? 13. Okay. 39 divided by 3 is 13. Okay, given GHJ is congruent to triangle XYZ, find angle G. Okay, so these are congruent. That means GH is congruent to XY, and then HJ is congruent to YZ, okay? Remember, all the letters match and the sides match on it. And that means these are isosceles triangles, okay? And these are 18. We know that, so these are 27. We have two sides that equal each other and one that doesn't. They're isosceles. In an isosceles triangle, these two are congruent. The base angles are congruent. These two base angles are congruent. So we take 180 minus 38, and that's 142, and then we split that in half. 142 divided by 2 equals 71. There you go, 71. Next we have question 9. So given all this, okay, so we have AB is congruent to DE. AB is congruent to DE. C is the midpoint of AE and BD. So we're going to go here. So AC is congruent to CE. And then BC is congruent to CD. That is just side, side, side. 3 sides. Side, side, side. Side, side, side. There it is. Okay. Next we have, what's the reason for 4? Why are these two triangles congruent? We have AC is congruent to BD. Then we have ACB, so remember it's your middle letter right here, is congruent to DBC. These two are congruent, okay? So we have a side and then an angle, side, angle. And then the other one, we have reflexive property. Should have been property right there. So this one in the middle, that's your side. So that's side, angle, side. Remember, side, angle, side, you have to have that angle in the middle of two sides, like this. Okay? Side, angle, side. Question 11, very similar. So we have, these are parallel. So WV is parallel to YZ, and then X is the midpoint of VY. X is the midpoint. So that's all it gives us. The rest we have to prove. So if these two are parallel, that means these are alternate interior angles. This is the transversal. This line V at Y is the transversal, and these are parallel lines, and it's on the inside of those, okay? So those are congruent, give an alternate interior. Then we have X is the midpoint of VY, so VX and XY. So these two are congruent. And lastly, we have vertical angles. Okay, so these two. So that gives us angle, side, angle. That's angle, side, angle. There you go. Okay, now we have AC bisects BCD and ABC. So I did get this from the notes or a test or something. That's where that 9 is coming from. Okay. So we have these things, and then we have AC bisects BCD, and then we have BCA and DCA. These two are congruent. I'll move it over here a little bit. So these two are congruent. That's our angle. And then we have ABC is congruent to ADC. So these two are congruent. That's another angle. And lastly, we have reflexive property here. So that's angle, angle, side. Angle, angle, side. Remember, angle, angle, side, the side is not, if the side was here, it would be angle, side, angle. But because it's not in between the two angles, then it's just angle, angle, side. All right. Next, we have midpoints right here. So when we know LM is the midpoints right here, and so this one, it's really hard to see these. Okay, so this is N, and this is L, and this is M. Because we know these are all midpoints, we know that LM is half, LM, 1/2 of, is half of PR, so 1/2 of PR. Or, in other words, 2 times LM equals PR. Okay, so LM is half of this. So if PR is 30, LM is 15. Next, we have these perpendicular lines that meet at the vertex, perpendicular bisectors that meet there, and these are congruent. Therefore, we know these are perpendicular bisectors and these equal each other. So 14x minus 37 equals 2x plus 11. We're going to subtract 2x from both sides, we get 12x, and add 37 to both sides, we get 48, and we get x equals 4. Right there. This is from the same unit. Okay, we know if this is an angle bisector right here, and we know these are perpendicular, then we know that these two sides are equal. So 13x minus 4 equals 8x plus 11. That's going to be 5x equals 15, and x equals 3. But we're not done, right? You don't see 3 on there, right? So you have to find DC. So you substitute 3 into here, and you could, because they equal each other, you could put it into either one. So that's 8 times 3 plus 11 is 24 plus 11, which is 35.